Today in the crypto space, we see a bit of a dip throughout the market. Bitcoin down approximately 1%, but the altcoins deep in the red. We have a few dips: Solana, ADA, AVAX, Polkadot, and many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but today I want to talk about Nexa, a project that has been retracing and definitely has some good fundamentals. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on those socials. The links are in the description, but better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, we see the market right now, kind of hesitant. Bitcoin getting a bit of a hesitation. Is this the dead cat bounce after a bit of a dip that we've been having in the last little while? Currently, Bitcoin is still within structure. It could come down and break structure, 100%. Very possible. But we have to be careful about those fake outs. We have to be careful about the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that some of the negative price action brings, especially by Bitcoin being a leading indicator. Because if Bitcoin continues within the range, again, altcoins should do very well. Let's look at what's going on here. Bitcoin still within range, however, taking a slight dip to the downside. Ethereum looking a bit weak here. If it does make a lower low, it could come down to much lower levels. BNB still, within range, but of course, on the downturn. Solana and many others are looking fairly the same, making a dead cat bounce after that dip the other day. Now, dead cat bounces are totally fine. They come back, retest previous lows. Sometimes they hit extension levels, 1.27s, 1.618s, and hit support and then get a really strong bounce to the upside. And that could be very possible in the next couple of days. Just understand that we're leading into the weekend. The weekend could be a very volatile time. The order books are very thin. Getting into leverage and trading is very difficult and unsuggested, of course. However, guys, if we do get nice fire sales, if we do get nice red days through the weekend, it's okay to accumulate on spot, because ultimately that volatility you can take full advantage of and buy the dips at those lower levels. We can see that right now. A lot of these altcoins are coming down. The idea of getting defensive is a great idea. If you're in some deep gains, guys, prepare to take a bit of profits, scale off the top, trail up those triggered stop losses. That way you can protect your gains and protect your initial investment is top priority, guys. Protecting your capital. Overall, we see the market rolling over like this. Not the greatest sentiment, but again, after rallies to the upside, a bit of a retracement to the downside is absolutely normal. We have H-bar coming down 6.5%. We have Immutable X down. We have many Caspas down 3%. But again, look at the structure that Caspa's in. Yes, it has been making lower lows and lower highs in the last little while, but even this little dip in the short term is not making a lower low. So maybe Caspa's retracement is almost done. This is the thing here, guys. You have to look for, indications that a particular coin or project is done dipping. And as of now, we see that some of them are looking pretty good. Like Stacks is looking okay. Celestia is still strong. Arbitrum is okay. Maybe looking for a rollover. It looks a bit like a head and shoulder formation forming here on the tail end of this price action. It's down 10% for today, so maybe it is due for a bit of a dip. So put up a stop loss right underneath those lows just in case it does break a structure and maybe changes the structure to the downside. So that's something that you got to identify. These are opportunities. Quant is back down. Is it going to hit the $100 mark again? Possibly. The graph is coming down again, so you can see the market is down another I would say 5 to 10% across the board. That would be the average, 5 to 10%, and another 5 to 10% the other day. But you can't add them. You can't add it together, right? Because ultimately we got a dead cat bounce in between, which allowed a bit of relief, a bit of a recovery in the short term. So ultimately, Yeah, some of these projects are making those lower lows, as can be seen, lower highs and lower lows in the short term. But ultimately, what we're looking for is a little bit of a bounce so that we can recuperate while Bitcoin still goes sideways within consolidation. Okay, so that's a key here. Very key thing is seeing what Bitcoin does. We'll take a look at the Bitcoin dominance tonight at 7:30. And of course, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the live stream tonight at 7:30, feel free to join. That's a great time and place to make those requests, and I will put them in top priority. As of now, we can see that the general market might be continuing to give us some, cheap tokens, cheap coins, and we have to take full advantage of it leading into the weekend. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at the project for today is Nexa, but ultimately, I want to take a look at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin first. You can see Bitcoin still within this range. Nothing has changed, guys, and this volatility that we're getting in the midterm is all caused by Bitcoin's volatility. Every time Bitcoin dips, we get a bit fearful. The market gets a bit fearful. But what about if Bitcoin holds strength here and get a nice little impulsive move? Maybe altcoins could definitely outperform Bitcoin in the short term. So we're gonna have to pay attention to alts, because as Bitcoin goes sideways in a potential distribution, I'm expecting some magic, right? So let's look at this in a bit more detail. The momentum is still coming down on the RSI. The MACD may be looking for a nice EMA cross to the upside. It's a bit confused, you gotta admit. I don't like this choppiness happening at the tail end of this price action, but ultimately it does look like it might want to go green for another impulsive move after some fake out. After some fake outs, even on the lower time frames. If you look at the 4-hour, you can see what's happening here. Rounded. This is what I talked about yesterday. I don't like when this happens on the histogram bars. It tends to want to be a fake out. It opens up like that and continues to the downside and gets a few people wrecked. So be careful here with Bitcoin. It's still within range, but ultimately I am not trading Bitcoin. What I will be looking for is great opportunities to get into some altcoins at great risk to reward ratio opportunities, meaning where the invalidation for a bullish long can be clear and I can put a stop loss right at that level. All right, guys, that's it. Bitcoin, just let it do its thing. Nothing to worry about with Bitcoin as long as it stays above, I would say, about 40K, right around this level. If it stays above 40K in the short term, we're good. We're consolidating. Let's move on. Nexa is the project for today. Let's take a look at what's going on with Nexa. Look at this retracement. It's actually a quite aggressive one. We hit the bottom of the volume gap pretty accurately, and obviously we got a nice rejection to the downside, and we're coming down to pick up some more bullish bids. This is the thing here, guys. If you're fundamentally bullish on the project, you really need to understand that fire sales like this need to be taken full advantage of. The retracement is great. It's not too deep. It's basically a 786 retracement. You know, it's considered on the deeper end, right? 786, 886 is a lot deeper, and it's very confluent to point of control. It's possible that we get there, but guys, look what's happening here on the 4-hour. Okay, on the 4-hour right now, we're making lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the RSI, and you can see that, and we're attempting right now an invalidation. It could happen, right? But we have to understand that even this low here on the RSI is still higher than this previous low, which means that we're still upward sloping despite the price action falling. So we could be in a scenario where we start seeing a nice pivot point being built here in this consolidation or in this accumulation range. This was the range that I identified as the greatest opportunity here to be buying a bit of a dip. Why? We got previous highs, we got a lot of price action here, a volume gap, bottom of the price action. It is a 786 retracement. We were oversold on the 4-hour. That's a great scenario for a potential pivot point to the upside. And we're getting the bullish divergence, exactly what we need. So now what we need is a bit of confirmation on price action, right? Horizontal 786 right here. As long as we stay above many zeros, 7169, we're okay. And as long as we start showing a change of character, what we really want is a higher high or a higher low, one or the other. So we could get a bounce here, even come back up, get a higher low after, and produce a right shoulder after a nice bullish divergence and creating a right shoulder. That would give us the last indication that we potentially are moving to the upside. Let me show you what I mean here by drawing this out a little bit, just to understand, so that we're all on the same page. You can see that ultimately we are making that lower low. It's very clear. Now we could get some support very soon. I'm expecting maybe a bit of a reaction at the 786. Let's say we do come down, we get a little bit of a bounce, we come back up, maybe we hit the bottom of the volume gap again, which could be confluent based on the EMAs, and the golden pocket retracement level. We get a bit of a rejection. We come back down. We test this level because it's the top of the volume gap. Point of control is nearby, and we potentially come back up. Now, what I like about this scenario is that we got the confirmation low, a higher low. We got a follow through on the bullish divergence, quick rejection, back test as confirmation, and this would be the time to start DCing and seeing the follow through on this bullish divergence to the upside. And if we can break above many zeros 9317, we can snap to about many zeros 1250. This is the place where you could start getting defensive on this move to the upside. And of course, what we're trying to do here is stay one step ahead and try to prepare for potential price action that could be in our favor. Now guys, we could make lower lows and lower highs. You know, the trend is our friend. Currently we're definitely coming down to lower levels. I like this level for potential support. That's all it is. The next level for support is down here. And if we don't get any indication of a pivot point right at this level, don't FOMO. I know it's oversold. I get it. But let's look at the daily for a second. The daily is not even oversold yet. So which means that we're taking a bit of risk getting into longs. However, we're very close. If you can see here on the RSI, we're very close to getting oversold. We can break this trend. Guys, we identified a nice trend here. We could break it or respect it. If we break it, it's very likely we get oversold once again. And if we get oversold, the price action could come down very securely back to 7046, or even at worst case scenario, start hitting the point of control, which is confluent with the 886 retracement. So this is the issue here, guys. Where is the actual bottom? Who knows? Nobody knows. The only thing that we can use is probability. Statistically speaking, guys, the retracement has been deep, and the retracement has been, you know, pretty healthy in the sense that we have retraced from the top to the current price about 62%. So that's a fire sale in my book. Double digit dips, almost triple digit, definitely doing well. And we can see that the only thing that we're taking is the risk that the RSI on the daily gets oversold. And if it does, where could we go next? And again, where we could go next is probably down at this level at the point of control. So I'm going to put a bit of a green arrow there to keep us in check, that ultimately this is where we have to be prepared if it does come down. But I would be happy to start DCing absolutely right now. This is a good opportunity. We got highs, we got bottom of volume gaps and many indications. DCA, wait for a little bit of a rally, wait for the back test, DCA again. If we come down a little bit lower, DCA again, and then keep a little bit of capital reserved just in case we do come down to this level. This would be a great opportunity. Of course, this is the majority of the accumulation range that you've seen the market get into. Look at all this volume in this general area, and if you look at all the volume as well in this area, it's pretty good. Like ultimately, this is the area that you expected a lot of volume right in here. Rally up, not many profit takers. As you can see, the volume didn't even really increase too much after that, you know, and then all of a sudden we're back down here to these lower levels. Look at the MACD looking to a fake out. You know, we think that we're going to get a histogram bar to the upside. We think that we're going to get an EMA across, and then as soon as it's supposed to happen, we get a fake out. And this is the issue here, guys. That's why I like to wait for at least one little green histogram bar to close, especially on the daily. That would be really nice. And then an actual EMA cross that crosses and closes the daily on it. And that way you can get a bit confident that yes, we're getting ready for an impulsive move to the upside and getting the momentum in the favor for the bulls. Right now, the retracement is real. DCA, guys, it's in a great spot. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a huge favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that's a great time and place to make those requests. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.